You worked the program a little bit with Wahoo McDaniel. Did you learn anything from working with Wahoo at all?
I really liked Wahoo. I mean, he was. I had a lot of respect for him as an athlete and a football player. He could almost like a scratch golfer and amazing guy. I mean, all pro in football. I mean, how can you not respect that? You know? I mean, and he didn't want to work with me at first, of course. But you can't blame him. I'm a big guy, and here he is, a main event guy. Because there was more territories back then, you know. And he's thrown in there with this guy who he said, "Who's this guy? What am I going to do with him?" You know.
Right.
And he didn't mean it personally at all, but you know, he was. I really liked Wahoo, and he ended up, you know, being a big help to me.
How about Barry Windham? You teamed with him down in Florida as well.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything from working with Barry at all? Or?
Oh yeah, Barry's a great worker. I mean, you know, I always and we got along well outside of the ring. So I was still in that younger party mode that back then.
Right.
So we had a good time together out of the ring and in the ring. So yeah, I always enjoyed working with Barry.
Now Bob Roop down there, he had a big reputation for being a shooter and a tough guy. What was Bob like?
You know, Bob never. I traveled with Bob actually. Him and Muda.
Right. I was going to ask you about him too.
And Bob never came across that way to me. I mean, never portrayed himself that. I mean, I'd heard that about him. You know, like you hear about a lot of guys, but I mean, he never tried to act tough or try to impress me with what he knows or what kind of shooter he is. He was just a regular guy. You know, he was a good guy. Or like Bob.
There was one specific match in Florida Championship Wrestling. It's kind of infamous on the internet. It was you against Bruiser Brody in a cage. Something happened in the match where Brody went himself.
Yeah, he just stopped working.
What are your memories of that night?
It was just bizarre.
Huh.
I just wanted to get out of there.
Yeah, we have it on video. It shows you just, you know.
I'm like. The referee looked at me. I looked at the referee. We're both like, "What's he doing?
Huh.
He's not doing anything." And what do we do? And
was there anything said before the match happened?
No. After the match or before?
Even before, did you make him stop selling at all, or was it just
no? He just stopped working.
Wow. What happened when you got to the back? Did you already leave, or did?
No, I walked over to him. I thought he was mad at me or something, or I did something wrong.
Right.
You know, because I was very green, and I said, "God, if I offended him or I did something wrong, I want to apologize." You know, You know, I was. You know, he was a big scary guy. You know.
Right.
And I was like, I just want to get out of the ring because I didn't know what was going through his head. You know, he had razor blades on his fingers, and I was like, you know, what's this guy going to do next? You know what I mean?
What did he say?
Looking at me, and no, he just said, "I'm working as a baby face in Texas right now. I'm getting over good there, and just your baby face here, it's just not working." And he goes, "No big deal." He said, and he was just like, he was totally cool after the match.
No heat from the office from the match, or that was
towards me?
No, towards him for working like that, or
I don't think they
not to my knowledge. I mean, the office didn't talk to me about it.
Right.
They were probably upset. Yeah.
I don't think they booked them a lot after that.
I mean, I'm sure they weren't happy, but I mean, I'm sure they questioned his professionalism.
Right.
Because I would never do that to somebody.
Right.
You know? But me, especially as inexperienced as I was, I didn't know what he was doing. I was like, on something, or you know, I was like, is this guy freaking out on me, or what's he doing? You know?
Right. Was there any?
If someone's fighting, I'll fight anybody. But I mean, but when you're in the ring, you're sacrificing and giving yourself and allowing yourself to be vulnerable. And when you know where somebody's coming from, you know where their head's at, you're kind of like, you know, it's kind of bizarre,
right?
You know, real bizarre,
right.
So I was just like, you know, I just told the referee didn't know what to do. I said, just DQ me.
Right, it was Fonzie. I think.
Fonzie.
Yeah, I said I'll keep on punching him and tell me to stop and DQ me, and then they couldn't get the door open.
Yeah, you jumped over
the cage.
I was like, I'm getting the hell out of here. I know where his head was at. So
Right.
I was like, I'm getting the hell out of this cage.
Was there any resentment from any of the veterans maybe there that since you were new and maybe, you didn't have that wrestling background that you were getting such a push so quick?
I'm sure looking back on it, I'm sure there was, but they didn't express it to me,
Right,
to my face.
right.
You know what I mean? But I'm sure there was.
What led you go to Crockett?
That ties in with the Ric Flair thing. He came down to Florida with me a couple times and thought I had a lot of potential. Like the way I looked, and and the crowd always. I was real lucky. The crowd always, to the very, all through my career, whether I was a heel or a baby face, wherever it was, I always bought into it, and I was always appreciative of that. I mean, the fans always. I was like the utility guy. I was like the high maintenance, the low maintenance, high productivity guy. I mean, if somebody got hurt or blew their knee out or something, well, oh, we need to heal. Well, let's switch Luger. It wasn't best for Luger. I'm talking about Luger's third person now, not Larry Full. But but it was like, and I knew enough of that at that point. That's not good to keep on switching back and forth, but the fans somehow, some way, kind of stayed with it, and it was, it was,
Initial impressions of Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty.
Yeah,
Wow.
when you first
He's a
met him.
character. He's a very charismatic, schmoozer kind of Dusty Rhodes, American Dream kind of guy. He was, and he helped me a lot. I mean, about the interviews. Before I go out to interview, he talked to me and said, "Keep it simple and say this." And he was always very, very helpful to me.
Now
So as far as I know,
Right. Now, this was a different territory, obviously, from Florida.
I didn't know all the behind the scenes stuff that went on in the booking rooms and stuff,
Right.
especially over my career. I mean, who knows what this is said about me there, but I mean, as far as to my face, Dusty was always very helpful, real nice to me, So
Did you know?
nothing but good things about him from my aspect,
Right. Did you notice a big difference as far as the territories working down in Florida than being in a national company like NWA at the time?
For sure, the crowds are 100 times larger, bigger arenas. It's a huge difference. Yeah.
More pressure on you two to perform in the ring? Or?
I never felt the pressure because I never read the back then the rag sheets.
Right.
And to this day, I can't turn the computer on. All the bad stuff, probably a good thing. All the bad stuff that's been said about me that is
You don't even know
from what
about
I've
it.
heard. Well, people have told me some
Yeah,
stuff.
but you haven't read
I'm
it.
like, you got to be kidding me. That's totally like ludicrous.
Huh.
But I never got into that because I never was a computer guy, and
Right.
I was never read the rag sheets. I figured, if I read those, I'd want to, quit or something.
Right.
I'd get discouraged, so I just sit away from the negativity.